Hi there, Richard Fulmer here. Welcome to another Richard's Rock Rambles, Hidden Gems. Today we're going to have a look at a band from the UK. As far as I'm aware, they're still going, and it's a band by the name of Renaissance. So they started out in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, as a Yardbirds offshoot, Keith Rolfe and Company, for the first two albums. Then there was a huge change in lineup. In fact, the entire band changed. Still kept the name, but went in a very different direction. And that's the lineup that we're going to chat about today, or at least they were there for the 70s. The singer, a lady by the name of Annie Haslam, still going today with Renaissance in some shape or form. And you know, if you talk about great female vocalists from the 70s, you talk about Sandy Denny from Fairport Convention, Maddie Pryor from Steel Eye Span, and definitely Annie Haslam from Renaissance. They're all in that kind of vein. Renaissance were more of a prog band, orchestral prog, I suppose you could call it. Lots of classical influences, especially in the keyboard work and the piano work. But her voice was incredible. And this is a woman who possessed a 5-octave range, so she could get seriously high, hold those notes. And for me, she was the glue that sort of kept this whole band together and that gave them just something a little different, a little extra. So the album we're going to be chatting about is called The Turn of the Cards. And how's that for a cool cover? That's a Hypnosis cover. They did a lot of album covers in the 70s, and I think they did one or two for this particular band. So this album came out after an album called Ashes Are Burning, which was the second one to feature Annie Haslam. I think Prologue was the very first one where she sang on. And this, for me, is their crowning achievement, at least of the 70s, and it's my favorite. It was recorded at Delane Lee Music Centre in Wembley in the UK in 1974. 69 till about 77 was when so much good stuff came out. And it was released in May of that same year. And on the Miles Copeland newly established label BTM Records. And I think the BTM stood for British Trade Music Records. I might be wrong. I know it's something along those lines. There is a 2020 release, a re-release, which includes 3 CDs and 1 DVD audio. And there's a lot of previously unreleased tracks in that special edition, which I need to get hold of. I think that has only been released on CD and DVD as yet. I don't think it's been released on vinyl. Most of my Renaissance that I have is on vinyl. In fact, I think all of the ones that I have is on vinyl. And I have 1 DVD as well that I'll show you a little later. So in the band, you had Annie Haslam, incredible voice. This woman's voice, it just takes you to different places. It's ethereal, it's a lot of emotion, and like I said, it makes the whole band complete. So she's there on lead and backing vocals, a guy by the name of Michael Dunford on acoustic guitar and backing vocals. No electric guitar on this album, as there wasn't on a lot of their stuff. Just acoustic. And if you don't have an electric lead, then you need something else to take the place of that to create an edge. And I'll get to that in a moment. So Michael Dunford was there on guitar. He was previously a songwriter for the band, but this would be the first album where he's actually part of the band, a member of the band that's being paid to be there, if you like. John Camp on bass, lead, and backing vocals, and that's the edge I was talking about. John Camp's bass work is incredible, very much in the vein of the other great bass player of the day, Chris Squire from Yes. They both played Rickenbacker basses, and you can hear in his playing, there's a lot of Chris Squire influence. And you know, the Rickenbacker has that particular growl to it, which gave this band a lot of impetus and a lot of edgy stuff to their sound. As I said, no lead guitar, so you needed something to do that, along with the keyboards, obviously. But a lot of the songs, his bass work is just amazing. Then you had John Tout on keyboards and backing vocals, great piano player. Excuse me, I just need to wet my whistle. He was a great piano player, played organ as well, I think. Mostly piano, though. And I think that's where the classical influence comes in. A lot of his pieces in the music side of things are very classic based, if you like. And a guy by the name of Terence Sullivan on drums and backing vocals. So everybody did backing vocals, which also was great for the band, just to get behind Annie Haslam, although she didn't really need any help. Incredible singer, like I said. This lineup would change over the years. People would come and go. I'm not too sure who's in the band at the moment. I know Annie Haslam's the only, not original, because the first two were very different lineups, but she's there from the 70s. And I'm not sure who else is there. I know John Camp, the bassist, isn't there anymore. One of them has passed away, but I stand to be corrected. So I'm not too sure who's in the lineup, but needless to say, they're still doing their thing, still touring. I'm not so sure about albums being released, but I know the band is still around in some shape or form. So this is the album. I showed it to you just now, that great cover. And there they are at the back. So that's Annie Haslam over there. And let me just see. I think that's the bassist, a keyboardist, drummer, and guitarist. I hope I have that right. So let's see what it says at the back here. John Tout on keyboards. It doesn't give him much more. Michael Dunford, acoustic guitars, vocals. Terence Sullivan, drums, percussion, vocals. John Camp, bass guitar and vocals. And Annie Haslam, of course, on vocals. And this is on the Sire Records. And made in the US, Warner's, 1974. All songs composed by Michael Dunford. So he was the main songwriter. As I said, previously he hadn't been in the band, but this is the first time he actually joined the band. There's some orchestral arrangements as well. Just want to see if there's anybody else of note at the back here. Cover and design and photos by Hypnosis. And I believe that is a famous castle at the back there in the UK somewhere. I know if you go onto Wikipedia, it tells you exactly which castle it is. Can't remember right now. I just love that cover. Very cool. Hypnosis always get great covers, for the most part anyway. So, the songs. Running Hard is the first song. There's quite lengthy tracks on here. That one goes on for 9 minutes. Beautiful singing from Annie. Great piano work. Lovely acoustic guitar. I Think of You. Things I Don't Understand. So there's only 3 tracks on the first track, on the first side, sorry. And as I said, they're quite long, 9, 3 and 9. So that's all you get for side 1. But it's just beautiful, emotive playing. I don't know, there's no other band like them really. There might be similar styles from other bands, but I think because of Annie Haslam, she just puts this band on a different level. It's prog, but it's not Yes, it's not King Crimson, it's not Genesis kind of prog. It's their prog, if you know. These guys had very much their own sound. Side 2 is probably for me the best side. Black Flame, I think that was a single that came off this album. That goes on for 6 minutes. Great lyrics as well. Michael Dunford really wrote some interesting stuff on here. Cold is Being, that's the next track. And then for me, the magnum opus of this album, the one that sets it apart from everything else, Mother Russia, which is pretty much a song about it's either a novelist in Russia who's been persecuted, or it's somebody in Russia of note who, I think it's based on fact, who's been persecuted by the government of the time and what have you. And this is a song about that, and the blood in the snow, and there's some beautiful lyrics to the song. A classic which they would go on to play at pretty much all their concerts, have become a staple. So that's it. It's just 6 tracks on the album. But do yourselves a favor. If you haven't heard this band before, I urge you to check this album out. And then probably Ashes Are Burning, the one prior to this. In fact, anything from the 70s, up to 77, 78 maybe. I'm not that clued up with some of the later stuff, but anything from the 70s. In fact, there's a really great live album. I think it's live at Carnegie Hall in the States, which I should be getting hopefully tomorrow from a friend of mine here locally. And that's one of the ones in the 70s that have been missing from my collection. But this is a standout. This is definitely a hidden gem or an overlooked album as well. There we go. Renaissance. So I chatted about a DVD earlier. This is the one. This is a copy. I don't have the original. And this came out in 1977 live at a thing called Live, the BBC Sight and Sound. And that was a series in the BBC. A lot of bands played on there. There is an audience. You don't see much of the audience, though. It's pretty much just the band. And yeah, Annie Haslam and the rest of the guys on form here. 1977, so they play a lot from Turn of the Cards, the album we were chatting about. Carpet of the Sun, that's from Ashes of Burning. That's another beautiful song. Mother Russia's on here, great version. Can You Hear Me, Ocean Gypsy, Running Hard, Touching Once, and Prologue. Prologue goes back to the first album that Annie sang on. So, and this was originally broadcast on the 8th of January 1977 in the UK. Annie Haslam, John Camp, Michael Dunford, John Tout, and Terence Sullivan. Same lineup as the album we were chatting about. So that lineup stuck together for a few albums. And I think as they got into the 80s, there were a few lineup changes, people leaving, etc. So that's another one to check out, the DVD, if you can find it. I'm pretty sure this is available on YouTube, the entire concert. I think that's actually where I first saw it before I was given this copy. So that's it, guys. Renaissance. A different band, a different sound, but one that can get under your skin. Lots of memorable tracks, great melodies, songs that stick in your head, all glued together, like I said, by the beautiful voice of Annie Haslam. I'll catch you guys again soon. Have a great week. Take it easy. Look after yourselves. If you haven't, down below, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And any comments, more than welcome. I'll catch you soon. Cheers.